Good morning, crafty friends. Hello and happy Tuesday. Welcome to Tea Time with Taylor. I'm excited you're here today. So as you're hopping on, please leave me a comment. Say hello. Let me know where you're watching from or something fun that's going on near you or what's on your craft desk. I love to hear from all of you, and I'm going to make sure I can see your comments as you're hopping on today. So yes, it's Tuesday. It's the middle of April, and today is a special day. Tuesdays are always special around Tailored Expressions because we are releasing new products, and those went live at 9 o'clock this morning. So if you've been on already looking at our newsletter, maybe even checking out on the website, I know I've seen lots of orders flying by already this morning, then you know what is coming your way. And if not, then welcome either to this live or later if you're watching the replay. I hope you learned something new today as we get crafty together, and also I'm excited to share with you some of our new products. So if you are new here, the way that we do things around Tailored Expressions is on Saturdays on our Fans of Tailored Expressions page on Facebook, we put out a product reveal video. So that is the first spot for you to see all of the new things that are coming out on the following Tuesday. Our releases always happen at 9 a.m. If you don't get a chance to watch that product reveal video, your next opportunity is at 9 a.m. On Tuesday, you can go to the website, you can see all of the products, you can purchase them, and then during our live, we don't walk through every new product like we used to. We are simply kind of hitting the highlights and then spending most of our time crafting together. So
yes!
I know Whitney gets
crafting.
really excited about that part, and I'm excited to show you some fun things today. So let's see who is here. We have Jill, happy release day from Seattle. Hello, Madge. Deb is here this morning, got your order placed. Hi, Jane. And Marilyn in Michigan, you shopped earlier this morning. Hi, Donna, and Megan's here. We have Vicky and Louise and Lynn. Awesome. Let's see if we've got, I think those were all from YouTube, so now we've got some Facebook friends here as well. Hello, hello. Kelly's here. Hi, Mindy. Hi, Shelly and Tammy. Good to see all of you guys. So very exciting day, as I mentioned. So the release today is called Tools and Essentials. So tools are a big part of what we do as crafters, as card makers, because they really can make a big difference in how your card turns out, the experience you get while making your cards. Sometimes I think a good tool leaves us less frustrated as we are creating. And so some of the things that we have in our tools release, hopefully will do that for you. Either they are organizational tools for your desktop, or maybe they are a special cleaning tool. I'm not sure, do we have any cleaning tools today? I don't think we do. Oh, we do have one little cleaning tool. So I'm going to mention a few of those once I get turned down on the down camera. But the other part of this release is the essentials side of things. So a lot of the things we use as paper crafters, I call them essentials. They are basics. Also, you can think of them as a good basic. We all need those basic staples in our collection, those background stamps that provide just the right amount of pattern without being overwhelming. We need those dies that cut out specific shapes and give interest to our projects. So those are some of the things that we're releasing in our essentials side of this release. So who's ready to see a few things before we get ready to craft?
Woohoo!
You ready? Okay, Whitney.
Yes.
Whitney's ready. All right. Well, I am going to go through just a couple of my favorites from this release. There are a lot of things, so this is not the full extent of the release, but just a few favorites that I want to share with you guys. So on the tools side, we have these cute new mini spatulas. Aren't these great?
I'm excited about these.
Oh, I'm so excited about these too. So they come in a package of 2 because we know you're going to want more than one. You're going to need one for your craft room and one for somewhere else in your house. If you have makeup products with tiny jars and you need to scrape every last bit, or maybe lotions, small lotion or hand bottles, lip products. These are made of silicone, so you can, they're nice and sturdy, but you can scrape the sides of the bottle. You can scoop out with that spoon side as well. So if you've got gels and pastes and those kind of things that you want to make sure you use every last drop, these are going to be perfect. And I can't wait to hear what you guys use them for, because I think you guys are going to come up with some creative uses. We did say the spoon is a little too small for cereal. So I love a good bowl of cereal like every night. It's like my treat. And so I like a big spoon for my cereal. And this could fit like maybe one peanut butter Captain Crunch on it. So
I might have to do a video with that. Maybe eating Lucky Charms or something.
Yes. So I can't wait to see what you guys do with these mini spatulas. Next up, this was previously available as part of our advent calendar, and we are bringing it out for everyone. I know it has been much anticipated, so I wanted to make mention of it. It is our Scrub-A-Dub Bud in Taylor's favorite teal. And so let me pull this out and show you guys what that looks like. We've got the ridged edges in the bottom so that you can take your blender brushes. If you want to put your cleaning, a little bit of water and soap in the bottom, then you can just brush around and get the ink out of your brush with this cute little Scrub-A-Dub Bud. It also doubles with another purpose. So we released this called our Clean Sweep. It is a cleaning tool. It has this really nice fine, what would you call these? Bristles?
Yes.
Very tiny bristles. And it actually removes with Velcro, so you can take these pads off after you wash your stamp. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to get it off right now, but with a little bit of effort, you can take those off, you can wash them, and then replace them. Now, I don't wash my Clean Sweep after every use, so a lot of times I have found myself looking for a place to rest it, because it does get kind of dirty on the bottom after you've washed a stamp, and you don't want to put it down on top of your project, and then you lift up your Clean Sweep and you've got a mess of ink that has run onto your project. So this little Scrub-A-Dub Bud, you can simply set your Clean Sweep in there and you know it's going to be protected. You can even use it to wash your Clean Sweep. So lots of good ideas for that.
For so many things. Cleaning those brushes, like you said.
Yes.
So many things. It's great.
It is a great little tool.
Handy dandy.
And it's made from silicone as well. And so it's easily washable after you're done using it to wash things. It's easily washable with whatever material or wet, dirty water you have in it. So
a lot of friends are saying they needed this because they got one, so they wanted to get another
they
one.
Want another one?
Yes.
Yes, I see EC says a spoonful of crafting helps the medicine go down. Yeah. These little, maybe a medicine spoon. I don't know. Oh, yes. And now Shelly has the earworm. We'll all have that in our head the rest of the day. Okay, a couple more things. I mentioned these in our product reveal video, but I'm really excited about them, so I wanted to bring them up again. The teal one will be familiar to those of you who pre-ordered our advent calendar. You received this for free in your shipment of the advent calendar last year. And what is this? It is a handy dandy corner rounder punch. The great thing about this is it has 3 different sizes of corner round in one punch. So you simply put the corner of your paper in there, punch it by pushing down the tab, and then you have a small, medium, and large option. So you can see the different corner round options there. So then we thought that one was so great. I have always wanted a punch that does the little angle on your cardstock. So a lot of times I want to create, let's say I have this little tag here that Susan created. A lot of times I want to have an even angled edge on the sides of my cardstock, whether it's just 2 sides like this one, or if you wanted to angle all of the sides, but it's tough to use a scissors and snip that equally for all of the sides. And so this punch is going to do that for you. And again, you have the option of a small, medium, or large angle for the sides. Just slip that corner of your cardstock in, punch by pushing the button down, and then you've got your your angle.
You don't want to know how many projects I've been like, a little bit more on this one. No, a little bit more on this. So I'm so excited to use these. We use the teal one all the time. So now the lollipop is going to be my faves.
Yes, that's great. I do see a question here from Kim, and she asked if the ridged arch stacklets were available previously, and I will just apologize because I did misspeak in our product reveal video. I had gotten those confused with another product. I had said they were previously available, but they were not. So the ridged arch stacklets in this release are brand new. So thanks for asking that question, Kim. Okay, last thing I'm going to talk about with the tools today is an exciting new tool. This has gotten some excitement over the weekend since we shared about it on Saturday with our product reveal. But for those of you who haven't met yet, please meet the Glassboard Buddy. Isn't this so fun? Again, it's in my favorite teal color. What is this? If you're not familiar, this is a little catch-all tool for just about anything. If you are a Glassboard user, it is magnetic. And so the magnets are actually built into the material. So this part is just a non-slip pad, but the magnets, the strong magnets, are actually underneath that pad, giving it super stability when you magnet it down to your magnetic glassboard. Now, both of the glassboards that we sell here at Tailored Expressions, the regular size one, which is 9x12, and this one that I'm on right here in camera is 18x24. Both of them are magnetic, so this will stick to either one. And here are a couple of uses for it. So your Glassboard Buddy, it features a small opening, almost like a little spout on the side here. So if you are working with small embellishments like our bits and pieces, I'm gonna pour some out there. And then you wanna use what you need and then put them back. So I'm gonna show you just a little trick. I'm not pulling up on my Glassboard Buddy. I'm kind of twisting to the side to get it off of that glass mat. I think if you pull up, you will find it will come up, but all of your little gems are gonna come with it. So give it a tug and a twist as you pull it off of that glassboard. And then you're gonna take that little spout and you can tap those embellishments right back into the jar.
Feels so good.
Nice, right?
So great, yes.
So the other thing that often happens when I'm crafting is I get done using a die and then I don't have my magnetic panel. I just want to throw it somewhere really quick. Yeah. A lot of times this happens with tiny dies because they just escape, right? We've all thrown a die in the garbage by mistake.
Yes.
Well, here's your solution. It's a magnetic surface again because those magnets are inside of the material, and you can just throw your die right into the center of your Glassboard Buddy. I will mention a couple of tips. So the little nubs that are left over on the sides of your dies when you snip them apart, they can be kind of sharp. And if you're taking this and trying to scrape it across the surface to get it out, it will scratch the surface of your Glassboard Buddy. So it won't change the use of your Glassboard Buddy, but if you are a person who loves to keep things pristine, just know when you're getting these out, you might want to grab like your die pick tool and just lift them out instead of dragging them across the surface of your Glassboard Buddy, and that will cause some marring and scratching. If you get scratching though, it's okay. No worries. I know not everyone is keeping everything pristine.
Whitney.
So yes. Now let me show you the last use. So I know something we do a ton here at Tailored Expressions is blending. And I love being able to offer you guys something that is specifically magnetic and built for this glassboard. It's gonna stay in place and it fits one of the Tailored Expressions full-size ink pads just perfectly. So we're actually gonna use this today because I have a little bit of blending to do, but you can just remove your lid and then take your blender brush and it's not going anywhere. So super nice and sturdy for you, and then easy to get those pads back out. So the rim around this is actually, it's a little bit less shallow than the ink pad, so you can still grab your ink pad and take it out easily. And it fits nice and tight in there, so Really, really super excited about the Glassboard Buddy.
So many uses.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
What's everybody saying? I need to buy 2. Thank you for justifying my purchases. Yeah, Mindy says I'm going to love this for holding my small things on my glass board. So awesome. I'm glad you guys are excited about this as well. So I think that was all I wanted to mention. I know.
Is it crafty time?
I think almost. Maybe I have one more thing because I get pretty excited about a pretty simple product, but we did a whole class last year at Stamp Joy, if you remember, either virtually or in person. We did a whole class on going bold with backgrounds, and we taught you lots of ways to use backgrounds. And today we are releasing 4 new backgrounds, and these might look really simple, but they are gonna jazz your cards up. Did I just say jazz your cards up? I did. We're gonna jazz them up.
Give me those jazz hands.
Jazz them up. Yes, these are going to jazz your cards up immensely, just with a little bit of a tone-on-tone pattern in the background. Today we're going to use this pinstripe one, and I'm going to show you how to rotate it so you can create a checkerboard. So that's going to be fun. And we do have a convenience bundle for those of you who know you want all 4 backgrounds. You can just do that one-click purchase to get all 4 of these. So yes, Trina's with me. She says, I love backgrounds too. Lots of great samples from the design team members that feature these backgrounds too. In case you missed the video over the weekend, I'll show you just a few. So this is Heather's take on the pinstripe background.
I love it.
I love
so
this.
much.
I love this too. She embossed the background in white embossing powder and then used watercolors to paint each of the stripes, which I think is so fun. And then Susan created this one using the fine diamond background stamp. Another fun one. Love that. And then Sue Banker created this one. Look at that background with the tweed embossed in gold onto toffee cardstock, and it looks and feels almost like the fabric itself. So love that. And yes, thank you, Jane, for pointing out. She says, I love the background stamps, especially the red rubber. All of our stamps, our background stamps are red rubber, and it just gives you such a great experience when you're stamping those. Often one stamp and done. So, all right, let's see. Teresa, good question. She asked if the polka chic background goes with the embossing folder that's currently the freebie this month. No, it is a tighter, the polka chic is a tighter polka dot pattern than the Swiss dot that is in the embossing folder, but good question. And let's see, there was one other question up there. Carol asked if there will be a Glassboard Buddy for ink cubes. Good thing you asked, because of course we did have that in mind, and you can stay tuned for an ink cube version as well. So, all right, should we get to crafting then? Let's do it. I haven't shared what we're gonna craft yet today. Here it is. It's been a while since I've made a shaker card, so I'm gonna give you some of my best tips and tricks on this fun shaker card using, as I mentioned, that pinstripe background to create a checkerboard. We're gonna do some foiling. Do you see the gold foil? It's kind of hard to see with the shine from the acetate, but I foiled that sprinkles background. So we're gonna do that. And we're gonna use another product that you may not have seen before. This Oh Happy Day die is something that was just released last Thursday for our Scattered Blooms Throwback Thursday event. So fun options there too. I'm excited.
We haven't made a shaker card on live in a long time.
I know, it's been a long time. It has.
Show me how. Refresh my skills, please.
All right, so we have, these are our 3 new Mega Messages dies that just released last week. They have a backer, and it comes as a separate piece from the actual words. So that kind of increases your usability with those 2 items. This one says, Oh Happy Day. That's the one we'll be using today. But we also have Hey There and Thanks. So let's get that started by cutting it out. I'm just going to cut it out of sugar cube cardstock because we are going to blend this with a rainbow of colors.
Oh man, Louise says hand cutting a corner is like cutting bangs off. More here, more there. I have actually done that before.
With your bangs?
Yes. Did you ever have bangs?
I probably did back in the day. Yes. It's been a long time since I've had bangs, but I do vividly remember some high school days where I tried to cut my own bangs, and it's always like, oh, just a little off of this side. Oh no, just a little. And then before you know it, whoo.
That's me cutting those corners. I'm so excited.
Now
I don't have to guess it.
Yes.
It's all preset for
You don't have to cut, just a little more off of each of your sides. Okay, so I am going to blend this rainbow, and we're actually going to use just 3 colors of ink. And then where those colors overlap, you're going to get the pink and yellow makes orange, and the blue and yellow makes green. So that's how we get our full rainbow. I also did these kind of just to show you guys. We were testing these dyes, and so we had these laying around, and I thought, I want to blend these up. So here's what they look like if you were to do those other die cuts in the same way. The name, Louise, of the sentiment dies was the... what was it again? Mega Messages. Yes. Mega Messages, Oh Happy Day, Mega Messages Thanks, and Mega Messages Hey There. So I think if you just search Mega Messages, you would find it. All right, let's get out my glass board buddy. We're going to start with sweet corn ink. So when I do this technique, I like to start with whatever my lightest color is, and I'm going to apply that in about the middle 2/3 of my die cut. So I want to leave a little bit of space up here at the top that will be just pink, and a little bit of space down here at the bottom that will be just blue. But then that gives us that extra space for those colors to overlap. So my pink and yellow makes the orange, etc. So let's get in here with our sweet corn. I've been using this color a lot. It has become a new favorite yellow for me in the rainbow. Taylor's favorite rainbow still includes pineapple, which I love pineapple. Sweet corn is just a little bit darker, more intense. Would be a great blending combo with pineapple as well. Okay, so hopefully that visual helps you see what I mean by extending that color about halfway up the O and halfway down the day, so that we have that middle 2/3 covered with the yellow. I am going to need to clean my glass board in between here. I'm not sure I have a towel.
Oh, do I? Let me grab it.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so then let's go up top here and do the dragon fruit. And you can see where I don't have any yellow at the top. I'm getting just standard pink right from the ink pad. And then I'm coming down and overlapping that slightly to get that beautiful orangey coral color. There you go. Now let's go ahead and wash one more time. And we'll do the bottom color, which is Tropical Punch. So I find that if I'm using sweet corn, I will pair Tropical Punch with it. If I'm using pineapple, I will pair Cookie Monster or Blue Raspberry with that. I don't know why, just kind of me. You do you if you like other pairings, but I know you guys like to hear what my favorites are, so... All right, we're gonna move upwards on this. You can start to see where that green is popping out. We don't want to overlap the yellow completely because we want some of that yellow to stay right there in the middle. So I'll hold this up and you guys can see. We got almost a full rainbow from 3 colors of ink. I did leave out the purple, but you guys, did you notice my nails? I think this counts as purple, so... I do love my purple, but sometimes I do leave it out of the rainbow. Okay, so I think we're done with our glass board buddy for now. And we'll go ahead and wash this. Jill's asking, what is the best white cardstock for blending? So I have tried a lot of white cardstocks and have come to find my favorite, and we sell that at Tailored Expressions. We call it Sugar Cube. So you will find us doing all of our stamping and blending on Sugar Cube cardstock. It's really a nice heavyweight cardstock. It's 100 pound. We do also offer some of our pre-cut card bases and layer panels that are in Sugar Cubes. So if you like things pre-cut for you, then you can check those out as well. Okay, so let's do our pinstripe now. So we are going to stamp on the background of a Sugar Cube panel. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It is full card base size, and this is what is going to make our shaker. So we're going to stamp it first, and then we're going to cut the opening in it, and then we'll build our shaker from there. So I did, you might notice, typically we have our Tailored Expressions Misty grid paper in here, and it has the grid lines on it. I took that out because I think it will be a lot easier to see my pinstripe stamp and line it up with my piece of cardstock if I don't have other competing lines printed on my paper. So just in this instance, I took out the printed lines, and I'm going to use this plain version. I'm going to set the stamp in there. And the first step is going to be to stamp this down onto just the plain white paper. And that's going to help me get this perfectly straight on my cardstock. All right, so let's take my VersaFine Clair ink. Doesn't have to be perfectly stamped, so just a quick tap across will be more conscious of where we're inking when we do the one that goes on the cardstock. All right, so get my Just Press tool out, and we've stamped that down onto our paper. Okay, so next thing is I want to make sure this is straight and centered. So I'm paying attention to where the lines are on the background. I should have put down some adhesive first. So I'll put a little bit of removable adhesive in there, and once I find that perfect spot, okay, make sure that it's straight from top to bottom and left to right. Okay, I feel good about that. Now we're going to take and stamp it more intentionally this time, making sure that I get the full stamp inked up. The lines on this pinstripe are fairly thin lines, so as you're inking them, just make sure you're not squishing, especially with that VersaFine Clair. It is a pigment ink, so you don't need to squish your ink pad in there, or some of that ink that gets down into the depressed areas of the rubber could transfer to your paper when you turn it upside down on your lid and start pressing on it. Perfect. Like I said before, first time rubber stamp, beautiful. Okay, now we're going to take this piece of paper up, and we're going to use these lines again and turn it the opposite direction. I'm going to find where that centers, and sometimes it's easier for me to push it up towards the top here because I can see that it is straight a little bit better. Okay. Feel good about that. Now we're going to stamp it again. And this is going to give us our checkerboard. Another option would be, if you want to, if you're not really confident in making things straight the way that I'm showing you, you could always stamp it on a larger piece of paper and then use your A2 layer stacklets to straighten it out and cut it so that it's straight instead of having the pressure of stamping it perfectly straight. Now just by turning our paper, look at that. We're gonna get this fun checkerboard design. I love that. You know what would be fun with this, I just thought?
What?
Like coloring in all those little squares. I think I found a project for my next like road trip or TV. That would be fun. I would not stamp it in the VersaFine Clair if I wanted to color this with an alcohol-based marker, just so everybody knows that before you decide to try that yourself. Okay, now we're gonna do some die cutting to create our shaker element. Grab my die cut machine, and then we're gonna pull out another new supply. And this one is called Label Stacklets 15, and it is a capsule shaped label. So I have 2 of them that I will be using in this project. And if I pull back my project here, you can see the larger one is used to cut the hole into my checkerboard. And then behind that, I have the smaller one that we're going to use to cut out our foiled portion and then adhere that onto a larger cut of a black licorice cardstock. So first we're going to take that bigger one, like I mentioned, and we're going to center this onto the checkerboard. Great thing about this is you should be able to see the lines that you stamped and help make your die cut into the center line up just a little bit easier. Okay. Go ahead and send that through. This little piece you can save for another project. I should have done a twofer, but I didn't. So you can do a twofer if you want and use this piece for your shaker and this piece for your, just for another card. So we'll set this aside now and we're gonna move on to our foiling. We have to get that foiled piece done before we can continue putting our project kit together. So I'll get out my mini make machine. This would be a great time to talk about summer school, Whitney.
Summer school.
I know. I'm
coming.
Are you? I'm so glad.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I kind of need you to be here.
I'll be there to give you guys some cheers and say, you can do it.
So summer school, if you haven't heard about it, is something that we are doing. It's new this year, so it's a virtual event. We do a lot of virtual events, but we haven't done one in the summer. So we decided to launch the best form of summer school, not the kind that you're forced to go to, but the kind that's actually you want to come to. So we are doing a summer school course all about foiling. If you're not familiar with toner foiling, that's okay. When you sign up for the class, you're going to get a coupon for 30% off a mini Mink machine. So that is a great price, especially if you've been wanting to try this and just not quite sure about investing in the machine. 30% off is a great deal. And we have exclusive products that you will receive. Susan and I will be teaching a 4-card class. We've put a sneak peek up on that on several of our pages, and I believe the deadline to sign up is coming up. So I know.
Join us, friends. We're gonna have a great time.
End of April, right? I think it's the 30th of April is when the sign up ends. Okay, so I have one of the Tailored Expressions fun foils here. This is called Holographic Gold Glitter. And Whit, could you grab me a big scissors?
Yes.
Long bladed. I always call it a long handled scissors, and then I've been catching myself more lately that the handle's not actually long, just the blade is long. So I like to use this to cut my foil because it's less snips of the blade. So I'm gonna take my toner foil panel and line it up just like this. Make sure that it covers the whole piece, and then we're just going to cut that with the scissors. And then this goes back in here. Okay, so this panel is from our set called Celebrate Good Times. There's one that has little sprinkles like this, and then there's one that's more of a confetti printed pattern in there. And we're gonna place our foil down with the pretty side facing up, and then we're gonna place that into our clear carrier. We have what's called a magic shim, which is unique to Tailored Expressions. It helps conduct the heat from your machine all the way through to your foil panel, and we find that it gives us even better results. So that's in the bottom of my sandwich, and then we can close that carrier. I have the folded end of my carrier sheet that I'm going to pass through first. I always start with a setting of 3. Until 3 shows me that it doesn't work, I will always start there. Usually if you're doing a lighter weight material, like maybe you're doing foiling on acetate or vellum, a 2 is typically good for that. Some of the machines, you know, as they get older or more used, I find that 4 or 5 can be helpful too. All right, it does take a little bit of time to pass through. We want to let it cool off. It can be warm, so sometimes I grab my little mini mitts if I want to be touching it right away. Because of that magic shim, it really does conduct the heat and make it kind of warm. But if you're not sensitive, I can hold it pretty well with my hands, just being careful. So I'm going to take out that piece and we'll turn off our machine and put that back out of the way.
EC says, and we have prizes at
yes!
summer school.
She didn't want you to forget about the prizes,
I
right?
didn't forget. I was trying to hold back my excitement.
If you are here and wondering where you can find information about summer school, I believe, Whitney, if you can confirm this, you go to our website and click on Connect with Us, and then I believe that is going to take you to a drop down for summer school. Okay, so super fun. I'm going to pull this back and show you guys. This is one of the things that you do want to be aware of. Do you see some of that puckering in the foil? Sometimes I'm not concerned about this, but sometimes if you're getting a lot of large puckers, that can mean that your heat is too high. And when the foil puckers, it doesn't adhere to your toner print. So just another little tip there, but go ahead and pull this back and shine it in the light. Look at how pretty that is. A gold holographic glittered look in the background. Okay, so we need to cut this out. As I mentioned, we used the larger piece to cut out from our frame, and now we're going to use the smaller nesting piece for cutting this out. And I'm going to push that towards the top because I want to see a little bit more sprinkles up there. But if you wanted to try to use this as a twofer, then you might want to push it down right in the center, and you could use that outer space for something else. Up to you. This is how I'm going to do it. Okay. All right, we're going to need the die cut machine, I think, again. Can't remember exactly, but first we're going to put together our shaker element. So before we put the acetate onto the back of this panel, which is very important, you don't want your shaker bits to escape, but we have one step to do before that. We're going to adhere this down to the black cut that I made. I already made this from black licorice cardstock. It is the same size as the opening in the checkerboard. Now we're going to adhere this. Whitney, is there a tape runner that's not?
Oh, you need a tape runner?
I do. A tape runner would be awesome.
I feel like we're in the refill stage right now. Find one that has a refill.
We have been crafting a lot around here, and sometimes when we can't find something, we just go grab it from the live table. I am guilty of that myself, and then later I forget that I took it from here, and then it's time for a live and we don't have a tape runner.
I feel like a lot of crafty supplies are cyclical. Like you have to refill your tape runners at the same, like, you know, you use them about the same amount, and then you, same thing with our ink refill, like.
Everything needs to be refilled.
Yes, I do it all at the same time.
Okay, so that is designed to fit in here. This is how our card is going to work. But to make sure we can get this panel or this piece perfectly centered on our card base, before we put the acetate on this, we're going to use it as a template to lay down this in exactly the right spot. So on this piece, I'm going to put just a little bit of, this is removable temporary adhesive, so it's not as sticky as your permanent adhesive. And I like to use it when I want to be able to get the piece back up again easily. So perfect if you are doing something like this where you're creating a template and using that and then peeling it off of your paper. All right, so there we have that. This is also going to help me because I can see I've got just that little bit of excess on the side. You could do this with a paper trimmer or with a scissors, but now is the time to cut that little bit of overlap off of my card panel. It is hard to get your card base and your card panel exactly perfect. The bottom lines up just great, so I took that little bit off of the edge. Now we have our template in place, and we're going to use this to line up this inside portion here. And we'll put that down with permanent adhesive because we want it to stay in place. Just place it in there just like you're putting a puzzle together. And then this piece comes off. Just like that. Okay, I'm also going to adhere down the Oh Happy Day. We can do that with a little bit of liquid glue, might be the easiest way to do a little bit more detailed die cut. Apparently I'm quiet when I glitter, or when I glue. I don't know what I thought I was glittering.
Glittering, gluing.
Hey, guess what I'm doing tonight, guys? Do you know? You know, Whitney, because you're coming too. Mm-hmm. Laura, our studio manager, and I have the opportunity to go to an elementary school tonight and make a card with kids. So we get to go talk about tailored expressions and share with them a little bit about what we do, and then they get to make a card that they take home with them. So I'm really excited about that. Can't wait to see the look on their faces. I love it when kids make projects and they're proud of them or they're excited about them. They just get this big grin on their face like, look what I made.
My kids are so lucky to have you because they have done the Valentine's Day kid kits.
Oh,
we had in the past, and now they're hooked.
Now they're crafty kids.
Yes, they love it.
Okay, so here's our next most important step. We need to put the acetate on the back of this. So thank you to Whitney who prepared my live today. She put a little post-it note on my acetate because you know what you lose faster than anything? A piece of acetate. It blends in real fast. So little tip there, that put a little post-it note on your acetate when it's on your desktop. And I'm gonna go ahead and put more tape runner just right around the edges of this. When I'm adhering acetate, I like to use tape runner because there's no chance that any of that adhesive is going to seep out of the seep out onto my acetate. Like if you use liquid glue and you accidentally get a little too much, and then when you're pressing it down, it kind of squirts onto your acetate. That's never fun. And because it's been a while since I've made a shaker card, I'm excited to share with you guys another tip. Okay, now I have to figure out, does it go this way or does it go this way? I centered it so well that it's hard to find which direction. Okay, this is the way that it goes. So I'm gonna put this, because this is the top. Okay, you guys help me remember that. That's the top. All right, we need to now build the outer edge of our shaker element. I call it build a well. The well is in here where we put our shaker bits, and we don't want them to escape the well, so we need to build that outer edge around the outside. I'm gonna do that with our foam sticky strips. So we've got this great product that is already pre-cut for you. It is 1/8 of an inch thick, which makes it perfect for shaker cards. So anything thinner than that, and you're gonna have some trouble with your elements moving around, just depending on what you're using. If you're just using sequins, that might be okay, but if you're using anything taller like clay bits or rhinestones, those kind of things, they don't shake around without the right amount of foam on them, or right dimension of foam. All right, so I got that right up against the last one. And I am using 2 pieces next to each other just to create more stability. So I'm grabbing 2 rows of the foam tape when I put it down onto the card.
Joan says, do you have any tips for making sure that your shaker bits don't stick to the tape?
Yes, I do.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, I'm going to use these little guys just up in here to increase the... Actually, no, I'm not, because then I'm rethinking that might cause your little shaker bits to kind of stick up in those corners. So I'm going to leave that off. I think this should be plenty stable without anything in these little corners. All right, so now that we have this kind of built around the outside, there are a couple of tips that I have for you. So if you've made a shaker card before, you probably have experienced the shaker bits, especially sequins, can get kind of trapped right up against the edges of your card. And that's because it's sticky down there. So if you want to kind of reduce the stickiness in there, you can take your powder tool and kind of run it along the inside of that foam tape.
Ooh.
I'm just kind of angling it on the inside there so that that powder takes away the stickiness around the edge of your tape. Now, one other thing that I determined, this was one of those accidental things. Like I think actually what happened was I was making a card and I got adhesive on my piece of acetate and I wanted to try to salvage it. So I took out an alcohol prep pad and I was going to try and clean off that adhesive from the acetate. I was making 2 cards. So one of them I used the alcohol prep pad on because I needed to clean up my mess, and the other one I didn't. Well, what I found that this alcohol does when you wipe it on your acetate is it removes the static cling. So if you're using sequins like this that tend to be especially staticky, this is going to reduce that static cling and keep your embellishments from sticking to your acetate. So one of those happy discoveries, we now stock alcohol prep pads in our craft room for this purpose. And we're just going to wipe that acetate with the alcohol pad.
I mean, they're great for getting sticky stuff off.
They are.
Scissors,
Yes. We'll often use them these scissors, they don't get gooey, but if you have any scissors that have adhesive on the ends from cutting foam tape, these little prep pads are great for that as well. So, okay. You do want to make sure alcohol dries really quickly, but you do want to make sure that that acetate is dry before you keep going. All right, so this we've determined is the top. You guys were going to help me remember that. And we can now place down our shaker element directly onto our card base. Here's the biggest tip that you need to know now. we do not want to remove the adhesive backing from this top area. Whenever I can, I like to create a shaker element that allows you the ability to pour your shaker bits in through the top. So sometimes you have to do it the other way, where you just kind of create a mound of embellishments, but whenever possible, I love the option of pouring them in, because one, I can see how much I have down there, and two, it's a lot less messy. You don't have those little escapees that are trying to get off to the side and they get on your adhesive and those kind of things. So we are going to take the backing off of these three sides. Shouldn't be too hard to do. That is one thing that I do love about this tape, is it's easy to take the backing off of. I do have a double strip of it on all of them. Okay, so I do know that I don't have any shaker bits in there, but I have not removed the backing from up here. So this is not sticky, meaning that we'll be able to peel it back and pour our embellishments inside. In order to get a little better view of this, make sure that I can get it perfectly on top, I'm opening up my card base. Okay, center it over the top. There it is. I want to grab my little, my little prep pad and wipe the front too, because it had a little bit of stuff on it just from my work surface. Okay, so there we have our shaker element is ready to be filled simply by opening up this little opening here across the top, and we can pour in our embellishments. So I have here, I'm actually going to see how this works. Let's put some in here, because I think they're going to pour a little bit better out of this star than out of the bag. Okay, I'm going to open it up and start pouring. Okay, now hold it closed with your finger while you shake it around. See how much you got in there. Tap it down to the bottom. Love that. Now we're going to mix in some of our clay stars. So these are white. And we're going to pour in a few less of those. Okay, hold it closed, and these little guys tend to want to, there we go. He was sticking up a little bit. Hold that closed again, and you can mix the shaker bits around with the stars. See how that looks. Pretty happy with that amount, so I'm gonna stop there. Now we need to remember to close up our shaker. So you can take, if you've got maybe a tweezer or something like a die pick like this, you can just take and pull off that adhesive backing and press it into place. Yes. There it is. Perfect. Okay, now to finish off the card in the same way that I created it, here's what that looks like to remind you. I have pre-die cut the balloon from our No Malone birthday set. I love this balloon. I use the balloon a lot. We do have other balloons, but this one seemed to fit perfectly. So I am going to blend this. I wanted it to be a little bit darker, so we'll bring back my glass board buddy here, and we're gonna blend that with some Tropical Punch ink across the top. Did you take my blender brushes? No, you didn't. Do you see the blue one?
Right there.
Oh, right here? Right next to my hand? I'm so glad everyone didn't get to see that. They only got to hear it. Where is my blue blender brush? It is right next to my hand. That was it. That was very similar to, where are my sunglasses? They are on my head.
I love it when I'm walking out the door and I'm like, man, I wish I could find my phone. Mom, it's in your hand. Like, oh, yeah.
Oh, this thing.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. I have to admit, maybe this is going to make me sound really batty, but I have been talking on my phone before, and I've been like, oh, shoot, hang on. I got to go find my phone before I head out.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, I think it was with Mom, and she's like, you're on your phone right now. Okay, well, that happens.
Okay, we all have moments.
Yep, I shared a while back how I stopped at the stop sign. No one was around, and then I waited for the stop sign to turn green. It never did, so I just sat there and waited.
You're like, I'm happy to wait.
Funny enough, stop signs, you stop and then you go.
Yes.
All right, so I have one more thing I'm gonna do, because that is my motto here on some days when I create, is just one more thing. I just want to add just one more thing. We say that a lot. So I am gonna tack down this balloon. Oh, I already have some tacky on there with that. And then we have another background stamp. This one is called Starfall. This one is one of our older stamps and still one of the ones that I use most often.
Yes.
So you can see the stars they are in a falling pattern, so they're more concentrated at the top than the bottom. So I want to make sure that on my balloon, I am getting the stars kind of at the top and not the ones at the bottom that are less concentrated. And then we're going to stamp this with sugar cube ink on top of our blended balloon.
You're not alone. Other people have done that as well.
Okay, good.
Woo!
Yeah. With all the Bluetooth devices too that help us, like my phone will connect to my car. So I don't really realize I have my actual phone with me, but I'll be talking on it on my Bluetooth in my car, and then anyway, it's a whole thing. And Yvette has done that at stop signs. So hooray! All right.
Just a nice little brain break to make a little stop.
Yeah.
And just stay there.
I mean, I guess it's better than the opposite, not stopping.
True.
That would not be good.
Yes, let's not do that.
All right, so there's that cute little pattern on the balloon, just a little something extra. We're gonna go ahead and adhere that down to the balloon that has the string attached to it. This just gives a little bit more sturdiness to your balloon. You don't have to guess or decide where to put that string behind it. So cut the base layer out of whatever color you want your string to be, and then cut the single balloon out of whatever balloon color you want. And then this is just going to go right about here. I didn't pop anything else up on this card because we had so much dimension on the actual shaker element portion. Oh, happy day. Last but not least, we have a sentiment. So this is one of my favorite parts of what we have in our storage here at TE. So a lot of times we have a lot of these mini strips, and you know, you want to stamp all of them. You sort of have to stamp and die cut all of them at the same time, and you're going to end up with extras. We store our extras in these simple strips storage containers. So these are called simple storage for simple strips. If you're using them for mini strips, there are 10 that fit on each level. So there's actually 2 levels of mini strips in here. The bottom level here has all 10 of our mini strips magical sentiments. And you can see sometimes we have them in multiple colors. So you might pull some out and you've got 2 options. And if you don't find the right option that you're looking for, you just do it again and then store the extras. But one of my favorite things is when I'm kind of done making a card, but I know I want one more sentiment, I come to my mini strips boxes and I can just easily take something that I've already done, thank you past self, and I can pop it onto my card. So we're going to use the Let's Celebrate You from Mini Strips Magical. And then the card will say, oh, happy day, let's celebrate you. Isn't that perfect? There it is. Shake it up.
So exciting.
Super fun. Okay, you guys, I'm going to come back to you and give you a heads up about things that are coming this week. So later this week on Thursday, Susan is going to be live. We have another Throwback Thursday. Every Thursday in April, we are bringing back products that we've previously offered in a kit. Some of our most popular kits from last year are coming out during Throwback Thursdays, along with new items to pair with them. So even if you had the previous kit products, we have things for you to add on and increase the versatility of products you already have. So that will be fun, happening Thursday, 10 a.m. I think that's it for this week. Is that right, Whitney?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will be back Saturday. Tune in to our product reveal on the Fans of Tailored Expressions page. Whitney and I do that together on Saturday morning, so you can look for that to go live on Saturday. And then I will see you again next week, Tuesday. All right, have a good day. Bye.